Hello everyone, good afternoon, it's me TK, your coach on the rocks. Welcome on this wonderful Wednesday afternoon, lovely to see you here, and hopefully you're having a wonderful day. Let me know if you're in the chat, love your comments, and I'd love to say hi, as you would say hi to me. Because actually, reality is quite an unpredictable phenomenon. So what I wanted to talk about today is the fact that quite often we do like planning, but I'm not saying plans are useless. I'm saying there's one thing that we usually forget when we're planning. That usually we're dealing with a complex adaptive system interacting with our plans. What do I mean by that? Well, essentially, it's the fact that if you use a military analogy, there is an opponent on the other side. So there's this quote from Mike Tyson that everyone has a plan until you get hit in the mouth. Try to change it to get hit in the face, but the mouth is what he originally said. I think it's quite important to acknowledge the fact that we like to feel in control, and for many of us, planning is an expression of control. I personally feel that to be truly in control, you have to be able to predict the unpredictable. And the problem with predicting the unpredictable is you can't. So the best thing to do is to constantly think for yourself and for the entire system that interacts with your plan. If, for instance, I'm wargaming, as I'm sure you know, it's just the opponent and maybe the rolls of the dice, but they are properly random, although there's laws of statistics governing the results. Hopefully, despite the fact that people usually say there's lots of superstition around that and so forth and so on. We shouldn't necessarily neglect that someone will react to our plans, or something will, or hopefully someone. And the problem with that is we usually don't think for the other side. And the problem is when there's so many people involved, especially when it comes to organizational change, it's probably quite impossible. And it's easy to be a bit intellectually lazy to say, okay, we don't need to, our plan will work, we're basing it on an assumption and so on. I said there's always someone, but there's sometimes something. So this topic of conversation today for my Coach on the Rock comes from the fact that, as you probably know, I'm doing a lot of online sessions, webinars, and so on. And sometimes LinkedIn is promoting them. I'm getting a great audience, wonderful interactions, and many people watching, interacting. Sometimes they're not. In terms of LinkedIn isn't really giving it to the audience. People are not registering. And to be honest, I've been doing it for like 2 years or somewhat more, and I still can't figure it out. I've spent the day today looking at the graphs, trying to figure out the reasons, reflecting on my various hypotheses why this might or might not be happening. Sadly, it isn't documented at all, and I'm sure there are some people that have this mystical knowledge. Let me know if you're one of them and you're willing to help me, or maybe we can trade some industry secrets about going live on LinkedIn. But to be honest, I sometimes feel disappointed by the fact that I can't reproduce it. I had many hypotheses and I've made some successful experiments, discounting most of my hypotheses, and here I am. I have a session on the 6th, Agile 101, and I don't know if I'll get many people registering or not. It's just a mystery to me. I can only do my best and I can only hypothesize what it is to make it effective. And there's many things like that, where if you have an opponent, at least it's human. But if you have like an inhuman opponent, like an algorithm that always changes and its job is to be hidden, so you don't exploit it, well, that's another thing altogether. So, plans are great, but sometimes you just can't do anything about it. And the same goes with the market situation. Sometimes it's just beyond your control. And the only thing you can do is to try, form a hypothesis, form rigorous experiments, iterate, be agile, and chances are you might discover it. Oh, I will love the day when I can discover how I can effectively get people to hopefully be exposed to the stuff we're doing. But so far, I haven't discovered it yet, although some would say that I have some limited success. Again, I'm being hit in the mouth time and time again, but sometimes I manage to get my punch through. With that, I will hopefully see you tomorrow for the Agile Q&A, and on next Monday, on this Monday for Agile 101. It's going to be a surprising session. But for now, I'm hoping that at least I'll be able to see you on the Coach on the Rocks tomorrow. With that, have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.